Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, OG the Beast, here with my co-host, as always, Uncle Chilltown 32. What's poppin', Uncle? How you feeling?
Ain't nothing, man. Basketball season. We running good, Joe. We got it going on. Let's do it.
Yeah, we running good. We got it going on. Shout out to everybody that's in the live today. I appreciate
What
all you
up?
all you guys stopping through on a
What
weekly
up?
basis. I see some familiar faces, some familiar names, as always.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate y'all. W's in the chat, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a regular, I know who you are. I see you out there.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? If you on
you can.
YouTube,
What's up, brother?
if you
Yes,
on
sir.
YouTube, hashtag sports behavior in the comments. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We got some loyals over there as well. Come join us
Mm-hmm.
on the live, man. Tuesday, Friday night. Y'all know how we rocking.
Yes,
What's
we do.
popping? V Real Drip, what's going on? How y'all
Mm-hmm.
feeling? Cam 2K, that's a regular. What's popping? How y'all feeling tonight? But not we gonna have a light show today. Just some chill, some barbershop talk, some conversation. With the
Mm-hmm.
squad. Some light. We was on TikTok like we like to do. We both TikTok cats. If you ain't following us on our TikTok accounts, I don't know what the hell you doing. At OG the Beast _sports at Chilltown 32. That's CHLTWN 32. I don't know what the hell you doing if you ain't following us over there. That man has damn near over a 500,000. I got a 250,000. We rocking the show, man. But we here to provide what y'all love, what y'all know and love, and that's basketball and football on a regular basis. But I was
Yep.
on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
earlier. I made a little video. Basically, top 10 NBA players through the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. A lot of people didn't like my list, but I want to bring it to the podcast. Unc, I want to know who you got as your top 10 players as of right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just right now. This got nothing to do with what they did last year or the playoffs or what they about to do. This is through the first, what is this, week 4 of the NBA
Yeah.
season? This is through the
Mm-hmm.
first 4 weeks of the season. Who do you have from 10 on down to 1 as the best
Mm-hmm.
players in the NBA right now? Who you got?
Well, we get wrapped up a lot of times in seeing familiar faces, and the minute you don't hear those familiar people, the first thing is, "What are you crazy?" Well, wait a minute. We talking
Right.
about right now.
Right
We ain't
now.
talking about what happened last season. We ain't talking about what's going to go on in 6 months. We talking about right now. Who are the 10 best players? Who are the players who are playing the best? Who are the 10 best players right now who are playing the best? And I got an honorable mention. I got an honorable mention in Julius Randle at 11. An honorable mention in Julius Randle at 11. At 10, I got Donovan Mitchell. And I'm having a difficult time. I've said this in the past too. I have a difficult time with a team with the second best record in the Western Conference and arguably the best team in the Western Conference, and they don't have no All NBA players. They don't have no MVP candidates. That's nuts to me. Absolutely nuts to me. I can't. That just doesn't make
Chemistry,
sense to
man.
me. Right. So at number 10, I got Donovan Mitchell. At number 9, I got Ja. And because I think that I think he's playing great. I think that he's going to be the most improved. Um, what he's doing down there in Memphis, that team look like it's coming together. When they get Dylan Brooks back, they're going to be even better. At number 8, I got a tie. At number 8, I got a tie between Jimmy Butler and Luca.
Mm.
Those are the two guys that I got a tie with right now because I think Luca, now with KP getting back healthy, you said this to me a long time ago, and it kind of went in one ear and out the other. And I think that Luca might have heard it. Luca is not that easy to play with, man. He's difficult to play with,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that started to resonate with him. I think he started hearing that because he's become a better playmaker.
Yeah.
He's become a better distributor, and he's starting to get guys more involved as opposed to before. Beast, I think that if he gets himself in better shape, he could take that next step. So I
No
got a
doubt.
tie between Luca and Jimmy Butler at 8. I got Anthony Davis at 7. We're talking about 24, 11, and 2 blocks. He the only reason why the Lakers ain't at the bottom of the Western Conference right now. It's because
Facts.
of him. He the only reason why the Lakers ain't at the bottom of the Western Conference right now. James has barely played half the game, so that's different. At number 6, I got your man DeMar DeRozan. I didn't think that DeMar DeRozan would be playing this well. I had this huge gap when I talked about the Bulls. What's the thing that you're looking for the most from them? I was looking for the D because I saw what
Facts.
y'all did already on offense. I already saw that, so that wasn't really something that I was tripping on. But DeMar DeRozan, 26, 6 and 4. Oh man, stop playing. DeMar DeRozan is about that. No question about it. Joker, I got at 5, and Joker has got he's got Denver rolling. They handled Miami a couple of nights ago, and they're doing everything that they need to do to keep themselves at pace. I think they're the number 4 seed right now in the Western Conference. I had them at the 3 seed before the season started, and that's where I got
They
them at
fifth
ending the
right
season.
now.
Okay, so they
They
fifth,
fifth,
not
yeah.
fourth. I'm sorry. I had them at 3 before the end of the season, and they're going to be right around where I thought they were going to be. At number 4, I got Paul George. I got Paul George. The Clippers are exactly where I thought they were going to be. I didn't think Paul George would be playing this good
Yeah,
though.
he's playing
I
astronomically well.
I didn't. 27, 8 and
Remember,
5,
I had him
and
dark horse MVP.
you did have him dark horse MVP, and I might have to consider that. I wasn't there yet, but I might have to consider that absolutely. At number 3, and this is when it's going to get tricky for me. I got the Slim Reaper. I do not have him at the top of the list.
Hmm.
I got the Slim Reaper at number 3 because we got a guy we're looking at 38 and 5, shooting 58% from the floor, shooting 40 on the long ball. So offensively, we already know what this dude is. Okay, he's the guy like Olajuwon, like Jordan, like Bryant, like uh, Chamberlain. We got to eat his production. We
Facts.
got to figure out who we got to figure out who is going to cancel out his production. And it's not one guy. I don't whether it's Giannis or who is going to cancel his production because he's going for 28 to 32. We already know that for a
Can't do nothing
fact.
about it.
We got to eat it. And at number 2, I got Giannis. And when I look at Giannis, I'm looking at a guy who I had him at the top of the list before the season started. And he's playing like the best player in the league. And he would be the best player in the league if it wasn't for the light skinned dude out west in Golden State. Because I mean, we talking about a dude that's 27, 7 and 7. And he's shooting over 95% from the stripe, shooting over 40% on the long ball. That Golden State Warrior team, they look like that 14-15 team that won the NBA championship. That's what they look like.
No doubt
And
about
it's
it.
going and he's the catalyst. That's what they look like.
And
So
it's just crazy. Like, and just to think, he ain't even got his splash brother with him. Like, he ain't even got Clay with him. The way the Golden State Warriors is balling right now is just bar none ridiculous. I don't care who you are or what type of expert you think you are. Nobody saw this. Nobody saw Golden State having the best record in the NBA. I don't give a damn who you are outside of California. Nobody saw this. But if we going off my
say
list,
if you say you did, you lying.
you lying to
And
me.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now.
I
If
don't
you
believe
say
you.
you had the Warriors at the top of the Western Conference, you lying. I'm
I
not
swear to
buying a
God,
bit.
like I'm not.
I'm
Or
not
either
buying.
you lying or play the lottery. Like
That's it. That,
either
that that's
or.
it in a nutshell.
I
Go buy a
usually I
lottery ticket.
usually hate honorable mentions, but for this situation, there's been a lot of unexpected talent going on right now. So I got an honorable mention, right? Honorable mention is Valanciunas. Like I told you, I did the list on TikTok. I did a list. It's
Yep.
gonna be a little bit different from the list that I had on TikTok. The list on TikTok was a
Yep.
little bit rushed. I was basically just trying to promote my man Sale Single. Shout out to Casino. Shout out to Casino Sale. Go drop him a follow on
Yep.
TikTok. But I was just trying to promote his single, throw something out there
Mm-hmm.
for the people, made it spicy. But honorable mention, I got Big V. The man is averaging 20 and 15 on 50% shooting from the field. Big V is playing outside of his mind right now, and I feel like it
Love
needs to be
him.
put on notice. Like
I love him.
he may be like comeback player of the year or most improved or whatever the hell it is for the NBA. Like if he keeps this pace up, which is going to be hard considering Zion isn't back yet, but we don't know what that situation looks like. He may eat
Right.
into his production a little bit. We'll see. But even if Big V averages 18 and 12, I think he could be something. That's incredible, especially for a team like that needs all of that production. But at 10, I got Ja Morant. Ja Morant is giving you 26, 7, and 5 right now, shooting 48% from the field. Last year, his problem was the inefficiency, especially his inability to shoot the three. He's getting better
Mm-hmm.
and better as the years progress, so I like what Ja Morant is doing. At 9, I got Jimmy Butler. It's not career stats, but it's a better improvement from what he was last year in the playoffs, in which he was atrocious. Jimmy is giving you 23, 5, and 5 on 52% shooting. He's got that Miami Heat defensively sound. They like the 5th, 6th seed right now in the Eastern Conference, and I think they're going to be nothing but better than what they already are because right now I think they just getting it going. Kyle Lowry seems to be finding his stroke. Bam Adebayo is looking like Defensive Player of the Year. He's snagging rebounds. He's having a great year. Tyler Hero coming off the bench is looking like godsend. You know,
Yes.
like so
Mm-hmm.
Miami Heat team is rolling. But at 8,
Absolutely.
I got Don Luca.
Mm-hmm.
Don Luca right now is giving you 24, 8, and 7. He's distributing the ball better than he was last year. He seems to be figuring out a way to get his teammates involved. Now, I don't know if that's coaching. I want to give credit where credit is due, but I just don't know where to place it because it does look like they putting KP in better situations to score. What the KP situation reminds me of the Miami Heat with Kevin Love, right? Cleveland Cavaliers with Kevin Love. I'm sorry. When the Cavs got Kevin Love, they tried to slide him into that Chris Bosh role, and Chris Bosh was more acceptant of his role as kind of like a corner spot up shooter, rebounder, defender. Kevin Love, they tried to slide him right directly into that role. He wasn't having it. Kevin Love is like, look, shooting threes is what I can do. It's not what I do. So I got to heat up first. Let me get a couple of jump hooks, and then let me shoot a 15-footer. Then let me move out to 22 feet, 22 and a half feet. Don't just throw me out there like, hey, the first shot you're going to take is a catch a fire three.
No, that's
Who
not
I
his
am.
game. That's not his
So
game.
when he
No.
had that
Mm-mm.
conversation with LeBron, Ty Lue, and the coaching staff, what did they do? They started to get the ball to Kevin Love early and often, let him touch the ball the first 3 or 4 possessions in the game, see if he can get 6 points. And that's how they kept Kevin Love happy in that third option role. And I feel like the new coaching staff for the Dallas Mavericks are doing that with KP right now. You see them going to him early and often, getting it to him 15 feet from the basket, which is where he likes it, shooting that turnaround fade, shooting that hook shot. But I like what they got going, especially Luka Doncic, 7-4 record right now. So they rolling. At 7, I got Anthony Davis, 24 and 11 on the year, 49% from the field. Like Unc said, he's the only reason that Lakers team is afloat right now. Because if Anthony Davis wasn't giving you this type of production, they might not be in the playoff race right now. Gabricio. So shout out to Anthony Davis. He should be higher than this, but hopefully when LeBron gets back, maybe he'll be more sustainable, more efficient from the field. We'll see what happens. But at 6, I got Paul George. I feel like Paul George should be higher on this list than where I got him. But I like where I got him. At 6, he's averaging 26, 7, and 5, shooting 45% from the field. Paul George is exquisite. And with not that many pieces around him, he's got this Clippers team in a solid spot. Shout out to Reggie Jackson. He's been struggling a little bit, but the last few games he's been playing better. You know what I'm saying? They got Zubac, who just, had a double-double last night. He's been playing better. They got a couple of wing players that can do some things for them down the stretch, but they need Kawhi Leonard most definitely become any type of contender. So if they even consider locking the 4th seed, I don't see why people shouldn't look at Paul George as a true real talk. He's in the top 5 for MVP conversation as we speak
If it ended today,
he's in the top 5.
We got to have that conversation, and
No
he's
doubt.
in it.
Now, speaking of top 5, here's my top 5. At 5, I got DeMar DeRozan, 26, 5, and 4. Everybody was asking me on TikTok, what about LaVine? He's not better than LaVine. Shout out to my boy Jeremy. He was going crazy on me in my little group chat on Facebook. Oh, what about LaVine? What about Ja? What about this and that? Look, man, anybody who's been watching these Bulls know that DeMar DeRozan has been playing like the best player on this team. No doubt about it. Without DeMar DeRozan, we would have lost probably 5 games by now. He's got to be legit responsible for 5 of our 7 victories. We got 8 victories, at least solely responsible for 5 of our 8 victories. We the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference, and we look like we making a strong push for the number 1 seed. At 4, I got Joker, 25, 3, and 6, 7-4 record, 5th seed in the Western Conference. That's not bad for a team that lost Gary Harris, for a team that Jamal won't get Jamal Murray back, which is their point guard and they score until maybe January, February. For a team that lost Michael Porter Jr. for I don't know how long, for a team that has to depend on Will Barton, who's a serviceable player, but Joker just got suspended a game. So with all of these things going on that's not so ideal for the Joker, he's still managing to pull it out and have his team in a serviceable position. So shout out to him. He deserves his spot at 4. At 3, I got Giannis, 26, 11, and 6. Only bad thing about Giannis, the 9th seed. When these guys get healthy and when these guys get over whatever the hell they got going on, when Chris Middleton comes back, Drew Holiday just came back, when these guys get the rolling, they going to start rolling. That chemistry going to pick up. That's what happens with championship teams. I'm not panicking whatsoever. They the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. That will not last. They definitely going to hop their ass right in that bracket and secure a spot and be a severe threat in the Eastern Conference down the stretch in the season.
Beast, they 2.5 at the ninth seed, right? At the ninth seed, they 2.5 games at a first place.
Look at that. That's how
At
tight the East
at,
is.
at the ninth seed,
That's how
they
tight the
two and a
East
half
is.
games.
That remind me of the West.
Yes, that's exactly what it reminded me of. When the West was, from 3 to 11, it was only separated by 4 games.
Right. It's crazy.
So,
And plus, you got the
yes,
play in too, so you got to be worried
yep,
about everybody. At 2, I got Kevin Durant. The man is
yep.
averaging 29, 8, and 5, shooting 58% from the field, over
That's
40%
nuts.
from 3. Like
Hey, what is he shooting from the field again? Stop playing with me, yo.
58% from the
Come
field.
on, man.
This is what I mean when I say Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever play this game. This is what I say. This is what I mean when I say this. And he's not getting his 58% the way Jordan got his 50%. He's shooting jumpers primarily. When Jordan decided to primarily shoot jumpers and attack the basket less, he shot that shot at 44, 45% from the field. His field goal percentage dropped the older he got when he got late into his career, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is shooting 58% right now, and I don't see this dropping below 52% for the season, to be honest with you. Because that's just – if Kevin Durant decided to wake up one night and say, you know what, I'm going to take 25 shots today. Like, I'm going to take 25 shots today. I feel it.
Or if he got the shoulders rolled in and he said, I got 50 for you tonight. I got 50 for you tonight. What do you do need?
Damn, 50, because he can get 50 in 15 shots.
Yeah.
What if Kevin Durant woke up and said, I feel like taking 25 to 30 shots. I want to get on my Russell Westbrook tonight. My God. Right. We looking at potentially Kobe's 81-point game with free throws, three-pointers, and he shoots the ball at damn near 60% from the he's not missing.
Yeah.
Like, it would be scary if Kevin Durant decided to take more shots in an NBA game.
I can see him going. I can see him going 21 for 28 and going something nuts like 15 for 19 from the stripe, some nonsense like that. I could definitely see that. That's not ridiculous.
That's like 70.
Right. That's not ridiculous. I can see that happening. I can absolutely see that. And he the type of dude who, like, he'll get it going where he'll look at the box sheet and be like, damn, I took 28 shots. Wow, that was a lot of shots. Well, KD, just so you know, in order for you to score, you got to shoot the ball. Now, I know that you're efficient, and we gonna look for you. That's not a selfish thing, man. When you 25 for 32 from the floor.
I'm saying,
so
like,
don't sweat that.
He gotta just get out of that mindset. I feel like he'd be counting his shots. Like, even when he was playing with Westbrook, that's why Westbrook always had more shots than him by the end of the season. Like, I'd be feeling like he'd be counting his shots. Like, bro, just let it fly one game.
Am I shooting too much?
Like, damn.
Was that too many?
Last game, he went like 14 for 17. Like, bro.
Right.
Like, shoot 30 shots. Take
KD, you 22 for 18 right now, KD. You 18 for 22 right now, KD. Don't worry about if you shooting too much. Don't worry about
Don't stop.
As a matter of fact, we going to you again this trip. We coming to you. So stop playing.
It's crazy. Like, I just hope one day KD just wake up and say, I feel like shooting today, and I'm not going to stop shooting. But
I'm just not.
At 1, what's understood don't need to be explained. This should be pretty consensus that Steph Curry is playing like the best player in the NBA right now. 27, 6 and 6, 43%. Like, the man is just he's a man amongst boys. He's actually 87 3-pointers away from breaking the record. 87 3-pointers away from breaking the record. He attempts like 12 threes a game. So I don't see why Steph couldn't break this record by the mid to late December, to be honest with you.
I was thinking the All-Star break by the latest. He'll have it.
But I think he'll break it before the new year. 87.
Yeah, so you think about Christmas.
By Christmas, the way he's shooting it, by Christmas he should have his record. If not Christmas, right after the All-Star, or right after the break, when the boys come back, New Year's,
right at the New
around
Year's.
that time, because you think it's the beginning of November right now, we close to mid-November. He got another month, over a month.
Right.
Steph Curry, if he shoot 8 threes for the next 8 games, what's that? 8 times 8 is 64.
64. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
even if he made, if you do the math, Beast, he got 87 threes, right? And over the next, I don't know, let's see, next month, there's 15 games in a month. All he got to do is over the next month, if he could average 20, not even 20, because that's not nearly enough. If he could average 43s in a month, which is not ridiculous
at
because
all.
15 games, that's only 3 threes a game. He could do that.
In
That's
his
not
sleep.
ridiculous. Right. He can do that. So you're talking about over the next 2 months, that's where we are.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we are. So that's not ridiculous to think.
That's
He
what
can
I'm saying.
absolutely
He
do
got
that.
about a month and a
No
half,
doubt.
and I think he's gonna break it. Like if I had to put a
Yeah.
wager on it, I would bet that he would break it before the Christmas games.
Yeah. I got him back. I got him around the All-Star, right before the All-Star break. That's as far as I'm going. I ain't
Yeah.
going past the All-Star break.
February,
Nope.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's dope. Like breaking that record would be monumental because he's shattering it. He's just not breaking that record. Steph Curry is completely shattering
Yes.
Reggie Miller's record of most threes
Facts.
made in a career. Like, and he's nowhere near done. So he gonna put a chokehold on that, and that's gonna go
Yep.
down as probably one of the unbreakable records that'll never be broken, along with the Sky
Yep.
Skiles assist, along with the Wilt Chamberlain 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. Those records will never be broken. Those are two records that'll probably never be broken, and this one will
Right.
be the third, no doubt about it.
I ain't gonna
But
fight that.
but but yeah, while we discuss these top 10 players, I like your list. It was we pretty much got the same guys, just interchangeable. The back end was a little bit different, but for the
Yep.
most part, it looked pretty familiar. But speaking of familiar, it's been some unfamiliar faces in the NBA giving us games on a regular basis so far this season that got you looking like, yo, I didn't see that from you. I didn't see that coming. And we call those guys surprise attacks, sneak attacks. So who the hell snuck up on you this season? Give me a player that you didn't see that's having a season that you like, damn, bro. I didn't know
Well,
you
a lot of
had that.
people. Well, a lot of people. The first person they think about is Tyler Hero because of what he was
Yeah.
doing last year. But I wasn't surprised by what he's doing right now anyway because of what he did in the bubble and the fact that he had a down year last year and his role changed in Miami, where they don't ask him to do nothing else but come off the bench. You don't got to be great on defense. Just be solid, and we coming to you for buckets. That's all they asking him to do. That's why he doing what he doing. That's one guy. So I'm not really surprised at him. I'm not surprised at Ja because I expected Ja to take that next step in terms of being an elite player. I
Mm-hmm.
expected that from him this season. The one guy, Beast, that really opened my eyes was Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges looked to me like he was in the lab this summer. His
Mm-hmm.
handle is better. We talking about a dude that's 21-8, right? His handle got better. His transition game got better. He's not just a high flyer. He looks like he was working on his mid range. He looks like he was working on his handle in transition.
No doubt.
He looks like he looked like he was working on his defense. He's gotten better, and he told MJ that 60 million that you threw on the table. Oh, yo, hold that. You hold that for a second, because I think we can do better than that. Let me finish what I'm doing. I'm gonna play this rookie deal out. Let me finish doing that, and then we'll come back to the table and we'll talk more. I thought that the catalyst on that team in terms of them making the playoffs, I thought that it was Gordon Hayward staying healthy, which I still feel like that. But now that I've seen what Miles Bridges is doing, I think Miles Bridges has moved himself into that number 2 spot.
No doubt.
Where this is a guy that we can go to for buckets. This is a guy who will rebound. He'll also do the dirty work. He's not just a guy that's getting out in transition and just dunking the ball. No, he does other things. And that's a testament to the work that he's put in. I can't appreciate that much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that when I see guys working on their games, man, and they come back better.
Yeah, I love Miles Bridges, to be honest with you, and 21-8 is impressive. Miles Bridges, 21-8, 34% from three. That's impressive. Career
Right.
highs in those. Even though they sitting over there at the 10th seed,
Yep.
Miles Bridges is showing us that he is a baller, and they stumbled across
Yes, he
something
is.
special with him. And I think he's only going to continue to get better. That was actually my pick, but since you went in that direction, I go in a different direction, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna take a guy that actually won an award, went to a team with title aspirations, didn't accomplish that, and then they cut him like a cheap suit. Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell right now is playing like a straight demon, like he should be starting center for somebody's squad. 18-9 right now, 9.3, soon to be 10 rebounds a night. This man is shooting a career high from the stripe. He's probably shooting close upwards of almost nearly 70% from the field because he's led the league in that department for like 2 years, 3 years out of his career. Like Montrezl Harrell is getting anything he want around that basket, and nobody is stopping him. So, people saying that they got a couple of guys out. One of their big men just came back. His name is slipping my mind right now. They got Thomas still waiting to come back, yet to be determined his timetable.
Plumlee.
They got a couple of guys over there right now that can eat into his minutes. But if I was them, I would just let him roll, because right now this team is the number one team in the Eastern Conference. Montrezl Harrell is balling. Spencer Dinwiddie fell off a little bit, but he's still balling. Another guy that wasn't in either one of our top 10s, Bradley Beal. He's balling, and it's criminal that he wasn't even an honorable mention for either one of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just.
What's the problem? Let me ask you this question: what is the issue when I think about Montrez? What was the problem with the Lakers?
He wasn't getting that many. But I'm gonna tell you the problem. He wasn't getting. He wasn't getting no player time.
Right. So that's why wasn't he not playing? What was the problem?
For two, Frank Vogel don't know how to coach. I don't want to say coach. I say his lineup adjustments. He needs to learn how to make adjustments with his lineup and how he can put guys in the best position to be the best version of themselves. And I think as a head coach, that's where he lacks at, because we exhibited the same shit last year. Ain't no way in hell this guy was giving you 13-6 on a team that was jam-packed in the front court. They had a lot of mouths to feed last year in that front court. They had Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis and all of these. They had a whole slew of mouths to feed in that front court. 13-6 still with the small minutes that he was playing, right? Sixth man of the year when he came to you. You got to find a way to get this cat in the game at some point in time. Anthony Davis don't want to play the 5. Put Montrez at the 5. You know what I'm saying? Like
Draymond played the 5, which means he could do it too.
That's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't getting the player time. Frank Vogel couldn't find a slot for him, so they let him go. And now look, hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Same thing with Alex Caruso. Same thing with about 8 other guys that I can name that the Lakers let go because they felt like they didn't have time to wait on them. So imagine what the Lakers could be had they made better decisions in the front office, because I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, they got a championship in 2020, but I don't know. Montrezl Harrell is my definite pick for guys that snuck up on me, because I know he had this capability, but I didn't see it on a consistent basis as it's been all year long. Literally, Montrez has been balling.
He lead the league in win shares, first of all, Beast. Now, what he doing right now? He was doing that with the Clippers when he won 6th man of the year. Mm-hmm. So when he comes to Los Angeles with the Lakers, who the Clippers just let him walk right out the front door, which was very surprising to me. Yeah. So he gets over to the Lakers, and I'm thinking he's going to be the catalyst. But the front court guys doing the dirty work. And they bring Drummond, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. You already got your dirty work guy in Trez. Mm-hmm. Why are you bringing Drummond in? Who I love Drummond. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking you already got your dirty work guy in Trez. We don't need Drummond.
Right.
And these guys, it seemed like they were just stepping on each other, which was why it just didn't work. That's not to take away from Trez, because I'm looking at Trez and I'm, first of all, 13-6. I'm thinking to myself, this dude need to be on the floor.
Right.
I can't say that this guy, but I'm looking at this dude and I'm thinking he need to be on the floor. Mm-hmm. We got to get him. We got to find more minutes for him. And now that he's doing what he's doing with the Washington Wizards, he looked like he's getting back to that Clippers Trez. That's who he looks like to me. Yeah. A guy that we can't win without
version
him.
Of that. Like
right.
With the Clippers, he was 16, 17 a night, 8 rebounds. He's 18-9 on 68% shooting from the field. This guy here is playing outside of his mind. And it's like you lose Russell Westbrook, who's supposed to be the superstar on everybody's radar, the guy you was like, Russ, and it's not even close. When it came to a Derrick Rose that took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals with a second option of Luol Deng, showing that he could win with him as the catalyst. Russell Westbrook has failed to show us that, especially in the playoffs. He ain't won a playoff series without Kevin Durant yet, point blank.
No, he has not.
So Derrick Rose has taken that team, and the only people we lose to is Boston and LeBron. That was the only teams that we lose to, besides when Derrick Rose popped his ACL, we lost to the Sixers. We would have swept them boys. But the simple fact is, Russ doesn't exhibit that. So you lose Russ. You get Montrezl Harrell, who was 13-6 with his former team. You get Spencer Dinwiddie coming off one of the most serious injuries in NBA history, and you get one more piece, Kyle Kuzma, who was the reject from where he came from, and all of a sudden, this team is the number 1 seed in the East.
That's it. That's correct. Yeah, that is absolutely. And I, as of right now, we talking about right now. We ain't talking about in 2 months. We ain't talking about 3 months. That's why I want to have this conversation about the Wiz again in 2 months. But as of right now, that's what they look like. I was completely, and I'm not one of those people that you could just pull the wool over my eyes and tell me and give me some nonsense and I'm just gonna go with it. Beast, I had them at the bottom of the Eastern Conference with Orlando. I thought they was gonna be super whack. With losing Russ, but this is a classic example of addition by subtraction. Why should I think that this team losing Russ 22-11-11, one of the most dynamic point guards in the game, and replacing him with Spencer Dinwiddie. With Spencer Dinwiddie, who, by the way,
coming off an
ACL injury and hadn't played. Him, I already know who Bradley Beal was, so now I got Spencer Dinwiddie and a bunch of rotation guys. Why should I not believe that this team was going to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference? There was nothing to convince me.
Because I was with you. But the answer is because Russell Westbrook is not that guy. You just named out his numbers. 22, 11, and what? 11?
11. Mm-hmm.
On terrible shooting efficiency splits. Terrible. I think Westbrook was something like 42% from the field, like 29% from 3, 65% from the free throw line. Terrible shooting splits. That is why you can't win with a guy like that. If he's as talented as people think he is, don't mistake passion for talent because he lays it all out. He's very passionate. Please don't mistake passion and aggressiveness for talent because there's a difference. Russell Westbrook gives it his all. Yes, he's grabbing all these rebounds and he's going. You know why he has to exert so much energy on the court? Because he's not as talented as that guy over there. That's why. So if Russell Westbrook isn't chasing after every rebound, if Russell Westbrook isn't diving after every loose ball, what the hell is he to this team? Because if we're in a half-court set, he's horrendous because he can't shoot the ball.
So am I hearing that Russell Westbrook, he's like he an average-looking chick that do a lot and make herself look better, when in reality, she ain't really that fly. You getting tricked. Is that what I'm hearing?
You're getting tricked. When
is
really,
that what I'm hearing?
You got the cute girl that's sitting over there with her legs crossed, and that's all she's getting all the attention in the room because that's all she got to do. She don't have to be the loud one. She don't have to put on all this makeup to try to stand out. Russell Westbrook got to put that makeup on. He got to do all that to look appealing. Imagine if Russell Westbrook said, I ain't going to try to grab 12 rebounds. I'm going to just do what Steph do. I'm going to grab 5, 6. I'm going to just do what Steph do. I'm going to do 5 assists. We would not be talking about this guy. He has to do these things because he's not as skilled as Steph. He's not as skilled as another guy next to him. That's the problem with Westbrook. He's terrible in the half-court set. So now what? If he's not grabbing and going, he's a liability on the court.
Well, see, that's the difference. That's the difference, nephew, because I actually don't think he's terrible. What I do think is he's got that kind of game where we can't have him thinking the game too much because you're going to screw him up. You got to make it simple for Russ. So get it and go. One pass shot. If we doing a lot of stuff in the half court, if we doing a lot of stuff in transition, then you're going to screw Russ up. Now, in terms of his skill set, I completely disagree with you with that because just because you're not throwing the ball behind your back 5, 6, 7 times and breaking dudes' ankles, that don't mean that you're not nice with the pill. And that's not the case with Russ. The problem with Russ is Russ is only used to playing at one speed. And when he only plays at that speed, his brain works like that too. And when his brain works like that, it's go, 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 go. When you slow him down and now he's got to think the game, he's not nearly as effective because his brain is still at go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And that's what's screwing him up.
I mean, on top of the terrible shooting splits, he's a walking turnover. So it's like, what the good don't outweigh the bad. So that's the problem that I have with Russell Westbrook as a viewer of the NBA. The good doesn't outweigh the bad with this cat. So maybe if he was more of a if you're not gonna shoot the ball or you can't shoot, you a liability, at least be great defensively like Jay Kidd. You not great defensively like Jason Kidd. We see he's still in his prime. I don't care what nobody say. The man is 32, 33 years old, same age as Steph Curry, and we see what he doing. But right. His age is showing more than Steph's because as you age, the athleticism wavers. And that's what he has to lean on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just a simple fact that you can't turn the ball over and can't shoot and be lackluster defensively, but you're giving me 11 rebounds and 11 assists, so I'm supposed to okay all of that other shit. No. What's more important? I would rather you give me 18, 5, and 5 on better efficiency and less turnovers than to give me 25, 11, and 11 on terrible shooting splits and all these fucking turnovers. That's just point blank, period. That's my gripe with Russell Westbrook. Oh, he does so much on it. No, the hell he don't. You know what he do? He turned the peel over. That's what he do. He can't shoot, so he can't play in the half-court set. He's a liability. That's what he does. He ain't even got that 15-foot pull-up he used to have early in his career. It's wavered. So I don't know. That's just my gripe. That's what beat my head up when you was, doing the little Russell Westbrook versus D Rose thing, and you was like, Russ, it's not close. Russ, I'm like, oh.
Well, the stuff that I thought wasn't close was value. I mean, was valid. I mean, the stuff that I thought wasn't close was valid, but
rebounds and assists. That's it.
Yeah, but when I watched Russ a couple nights ago, like I said Russ in terms of his IQ is slightly better. But then I watched him a couple nights ago against Oklahoma City, where he's covering Lou Dort, who's on the baseline, who's the closest to the basket, right? And then Anthony Davis is out, and Avery Bradley is on the wing. Russell leaves Lou Dort to go triple team at almost half court. And I'm thinking to myself, Russ, you make it so difficult to defend you in terms of when you doing stuff like that. You make it very difficult for me to defend you in your basketball IQ, because I'm trying to understand what is going through your mind for you to do that. Do you just have a moment where your computer screen just blips and blips? Because I'm trying to make sense of what your logic was there. And you make it difficult for me to defend you when you're doing stuff like that. Because I know you're smarter than that. I have to believe that you're smarter than that.
Yeah, it's just tough, and I understand some people, feel like Russell Westbrook don't get a fair shake, and you might be right about that to a certain extent. But you could like him all you want, you could love him all you want. My man Dub, I don't know if he in here or not, but that's one of his. Oh yeah, I see him, Dub Fit. He in here. Shout out to Dub. But that's one of his, if not his favorite player. He love him. We fight about this day in and day out. He knows my take on Russell Westbrook. I don't know if he's been listening. He probably been in here listening, but he knows my gripe for Russell Westbrook. And it's just, it is what it is. It's hard to defend him, but you can love him all you want as long as you understand where I'm coming from with it. And I didn't spit nothing that was fraudulent. Everything I said was 100% fact. So, I mean, you can't just take what situation right now that you can take Russell Westbrook and say, if you add him, they're a championship team immediately. Like, is there a situation? This is a prime example of what I mean when I say what I say.
Well, it's difficult, and I've always felt like this, that you're not winning the NBA championship with Russ as your main guy. You're not. You got to put the right pieces. You got to put the right pieces around him in order to win it. You're not winning it with him as your guy.
Even if you put the right pieces around him, like Dub just said right now, put him with Greek Freak, and he put him in a situation like Greek isn't any good, like with all shooters. That's still not going to be enough to win a championship if you put all shooters around Russ. Russ will have to be in a situation where his shooter is the best in the world. Put him on Golden State. Like, that's the only way I could see him being in a successful situation. And that's because he playing with Stephen Curry. You know what I'm saying? And even then, who knows what can happen. But I see a lot of y'all drawing interest in this conversation about Russell Westbrook. Y'all going back and forth. I'm catching up with the messages now. Add Russ to Brooklyn and they winning. Not with James Harden on that squad. No, sir. James Harden is ball dominant. What you about to do? That's not going. And they play a half-court set. No. Not with James Harden and Kevin Durant. Maybe just James Harden, but we seen that experience no more. He's a weird guy. Hot take,
And we
Jamar.
saw we saw Russ with KD, and I think that, and I'm not a huge Russ fan. I just felt like, because a lot of people say to me, "Yo, OG don't go off the eye test," and that's not true. Because in fact, that's what I did with Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose. But with that being said, I look at Russ and I look at his game and how it's materialized. The thing that screws me up with him is, like I just got finished talking to you about, he does stuff that makes it difficult for me to defend
Yeah.
him. And that's why I think KD looked at him like Kobe looked at Shaq after the 03-04 season. I don't want to play another minute with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play another. And that's not to say that Shaq wasn't great. That's not to say that Shaq wasn't incredible. And that's not to say that the dynamic duo they couldn't have kept that going.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could absolutely have kept that going. But Kobe was out. I'm done with this dude. And I think KD felt the same way about Russ. I'm not going to win with him.
Yeah, definitely. So you had to move on. Somebody said great players don't get traded in their prime. I mean, I don't trade it.
Well, that ain't true. That's not true.
I mean,
Because Chamberlain got traded a number of different times in his prime. So that's not true.
no, but see, the
It's not
difference
true at
is
all.
Chamberlain wanted out. He forced his way out. So if you saying traded, unwillingly traded, he might be right. Because I can't think of a superstar that got unwilling. Shaq. I mean, I
Well, wait a minute. Oklahoma City, they started over, and Russ okayed that. They came to him and asked him. So Oklahoma City was different.
Russ didn't
Houston
okay.
was the same.
Houston.
Houston was the same thing. Yes, it was. Houston was the. Don't forget, Russ got traded before James Harden. Russ got traded before James Harden. They were starting this thing, right? And they were starting this thing over. And Russ was like, "I'm good. I'm good with what. If y'all want to trade me, I'm straight with that. I got no problem with that."
You think
so?
so?
That's not a situation. Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a situation where they just shipped him off. No, they were in a mutual agreement that this isn't working, and
Why isn't
it's
it
time for me
working
to move
though?
on. Well, we know who Russ is. That's why it wasn't working.
He's not
So
that
I don't.
guy.
This isn't a situation where we're talking about a guy. This isn't a situation where we're trying to make sense of why this dude is not. Why this dude is.
I think Russ is on like his third team in 3 years.
Yes, sir. From Oklahoma City to Houston to Washington to now Los Angeles.
That's 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 teams in 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow. In his prime. 32. 30, 31, 32, 33.
Yep.
Like,
he just turned 33 yesterday.
It's crazy.
Just turned 33 yesterday. Yep.
It's crazy. You got traded for. I don't know, man. You're not that guy, pal. That's all I have to say about that. You're not that guy. A lot of people griping in the comments, about this Russell Westbrook thing. They, y'all like this conversation, but we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Odell Beckham just got signed to the Rams. Real quick before we move on to the next topic, to be honest with you, the Rams was already loaded up. They done stacked the deck multiple times. These guys is obviously going for broke. I mean, they went and got Von Miller. They already got Aaron Donald. They already got Jalen Ramsey. They already got Cooper Kupp, who's phenomenal. Jefferson is a great slot. Cooper's a great slot. He could play the X, Y, and the Z. They got Robert Woods. Now they added Odell Beckham. They got Darrell Henderson in the backfield. Cam Akers, to me, is better than Darrell Henderson. So when he gets back, if he's the same character, they can make a run. I think with solidifying Odell Beckham, I think the Los Angeles Rams pretty much made themselves the favorites to represent the NFC. What do you think?
Well, let's start the conversation with him being, well, where's all this money coming from with the Rams? Well, the reason why they didn't claim him on waivers when he was on waivers is because if they claim him when he's on waivers, that means that they're on the hook for that money that he's owed. So if we able to let him clear waivers and then we sign him, we can sign him to the league minimum, which is what they did. So the money isn't an issue. Now, we're talking about a dude in Odell Beckham who, since he left the Giants, he's had one 1,000-yard season. Now, he tore up his knee, but he looked sharp coming back. Mm-hmm. Now, the question is how is this thing going to work with Matt Stafford and him? Because we know who Matt Stafford is. I know who Matt Stafford is, and I don't think that what I saw last week, or I don't think that what I've seen in the coming weeks is not an anomaly. Matt Stafford is going to give you a game. He's going to give you 2 games because that's who Matt Stafford is. He's going to light the scoreboard up, absolutely. The question is how is this going to work? Where are we going to put Odell? Are we going to put him in the slot? Are we going to put him out wide? Now, what you don't have to concern yourself with, you don't have to concern yourself with getting him the football, because Matt Stafford, like Calvin Johnson, like Pettigrew, he knows how to find guys. And he knows how to hit guys when they're open.
No doubt.
So ODB doesn't have to worry about him running routes and being open and Matt Stafford not getting him the football, because that's not going to happen, my man. You don't have to worry about that one bit. He will absolutely get you you just got to perform. That's all. You just got to perform and do the things that you do and prove to us that you are that elite wide receiver again. Because we're talking about a guy, again, who since he left the Giants, he's had 1,000-yard season.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. And Odell Beckham is way more talented than what he's been showing the last few years, like coming off 2 major injuries. You know, he's messed his knees up. One was his ankle, one was his knee.
Yep.
You know, but that doesn't seem to be bothering him. That seems to be 100% behind him. I think he's 100% healthy. He's ready to roll. And like I say, it's that chemistry thing. Sometimes chemistry trumps skill, right? Look at him with Eli Manning. He was phenomenal simply because him and Eli had chemistry. But not only that, Eli was willing to take chances. Bless you. Eli was willing to take chances. And that's what you need from your quarterback. Give me a chance. Mm-hmm. Look my way. Look at me going up against this corner and say, look, I know he's covered, but I think my guy is better than that guy. So I'm going to give him a shot. That's what Big Ben does with AB. That's what Tom Brady did with Randy Moss. That's what Matt Stafford did with Calvin Johnson. So it's like I believe Matt Stafford is going to do the same thing with Odell Beckham. And, you know, now he goes from having an elite route runner and Cooper Kupp, this man can get open in a phone booth, to have
that's wide receiver in the game right now. He's the best wide out in the game.
To have
no doubt
Odell
about that.
Beckham who could take the top off the defense, not as just another element that you ain't got to worry about. But speaking of having another element, there's a guy by the name of Cam Newton who's back in his old stomping ground. He took a trip back up to Carolina, North Carolina, and they signed him. I think $4 million of it is guaranteed, up to $10 million through incentives that he can get, like if he stays healthy, if he completes a certain amount of passes, gets a certain amount of yards, and so forth. I like this move. I don't even give a damn about Carolina's record. I just want to see Cam Newton in that powder blue again with that number 1 on, and I want to see him score, and I want to see him rip that shirt off and show me that Superman emblem on his chest, because Cam Newton is still Superman. Last time we seen him, 14 games in the regular season, he had nearly 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions, while completing 67% of his passes. That was just 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Newton has just been in situations where he was pretty much destined to fail. Like, you get to New England, you got to learn the system. You don't have many pieces around you that first go-round. So you say, damn, we had a messed up season. So let me run it back. Give me that opportunity to run it back, Green Bay. Can I run it back? Or Pats, can I run it back? So Belichick says, okay, let's run it back. But we're going to draft your replacement and sit him behind you to put some pressure on you. So that's exactly what they do. They draft Mac Jones. So really, are you running it back with Cam? Because I think it was Cam's job to win more than it was his job to lose. Like, if Cam played decently, y'all still would have let him go, which he did. He played solid. Cam Newton basically had to pop off the screen for New England to say, okay, we gonna sit the kid.
You think they set him up to fail?
I don't think they set him up to fail. I just think Cam Newton had to leap off the screen for him to be the starting quarterback over Mac Jones. If Mac Jones showed you anything, just a little bit, they was, okay, we going with the kid. And that's what he did. Because I don't think Mac Jones won. Julian Edelman said it best. Cam Newton did not lose that starting job to Mac Jones. That's from Julian Edelman's mouth.
Right. So we talking about a guy who they already had Mac Jones penciled in.
Exactly.
He turned out to be better. He turned out to be better than what they thought he was.
Yeah.
And they were going to have him play behind Cam for X amount of games. And then if it didn't go right, they were going to insert him. Turns out he was better than what they thought he was.
Exactly.
And we're going to go with this guy on week 1. Now, when I think about Cam in Carolina, I didn't like the way that ended.
Yeah.
I don't think because everybody talked about him being washed, and I'm thinking, I don't think he washed. He was only 31. I did not think he was washed. I still thought that he had something left. Now, he's coming back to a Carolina team who you and I had this conversation. I was huge on Sam Darnold, but I got to get off that train, Beast.
Yeah.
I got to get off the Sam Darnold train. We're talking about a guy who in the Carolina now, in his defense, no CMC. The offense is going the other way because CMC was basically he was Derrick Henry up there. He was their workhorse back. But with that being said, 5 of their last 6 losses on 10 interceptions,
Yeah.
a 57 quarterback rating. We're not winning with that. We're
Ain't
not
that
going to
guy.
win with that.
He's not that
No,
guy. He's
we're
not
not
that
winning
guy.
with that.
Not at all.
No, we are not winning with that.
Not at all.
And I remember him coming out of college, and I thought that Sam Darnold was a turnover machine, but I thought it could be managed. Only except I see him in Carolina, and he looks like he's going back to that same guy, and I'm thinking maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe he is that. Maybe he is who I thought he was, and I got tricked into thinking that he was turning into.
I can't think of the last USC quarterback that ever did anything in the NFL. Like USC quarterbacks is no go in maybe Mark Sanchez. That was the last USC quarterback that I could think of that had some type of success. Like it's USC
10 years ago.
Like that's what
10 years ago.
USC quarterbacks don't produce in the NFL. So it's just like Alabama quarterbacks.
Right.
So it's like Mac Jones is a rarity, but we'll see where that goes. But shout out to Sale 32. Oh, remember I was telling y'all earlier about that the fan base we developing over there on YouTube. He said, what's good? I'm one of y'all biggest fans. This is my first live. I'll be watching every YouTube video. I appreciate you, for supporting us. Finally getting a chance to make it to the live. See, we got them from everywhere. We pull some of y'all from TikTok. We got a lot of y'all that's straight from Twitch. That's Twitch lovers that found us here. And we got a lot of y'all from also YouTube. So I appreciate you finally getting a chance to join the live. I hope we giving you what you came to see. But yeah, I love to see Cam Newton back in that powder blue. I think it's a good look for him. I think it's a good look for Carolina, bringing him back, even though he don't have his head coach. And we'll see how they scheme up things to get Cam Newton back in the rhythm and the flow. But let's play a little game. It's called Contender or Pretender. I'm gonna give you a couple of squads, and I want you to let me know if you think they're gonna go somewhere or if they're not. Whether they in the position they are in right now to be successful or they not in the position. Are they contenders or are they pretenders? I don't even care about the record. I just want to know what you think. Are they contenders or pretenders? We'll start with the Bulls.
Contenders. What they did was they answered the question for me, Beast, of the defensive end of the floor. They're in the top 5 in the league in defense. They're in the top 10 in the league in points allowed. And DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vooch, those guys are showing me that we can play on the defensive side of the ball. We could be solid on the defensive side of the ball with Lonzo. I love what they're doing. I think that they're legit contenders. Legit.
No doubt about it. We just talked about them. Montrezl Harrell, Wizards.
Yes, sir.
What you think? Contenders?
I think they pretenders. I'm not sold on them. Absolutely not. Even though what they look like right now, they look incredible, right? They're in the top 10. They're the best rebounding team in the league. They're the best defensive rebounding team in the league. They're awesome in terms of point rate, in terms of defensive rating. They're awesome. I want to have this conversation with you again in 2 months.
No doubt about it. Low Dollar, shout out. South side in the building. I don't know where you from, but I'm from out south, baby. Let's get it. Chicago in the house. But I don't know. I'm on the fence about Washington. They could be pretenders. I'm not mad at you calling them pretenders, though. They could be contenders. We'll see. We'll see how it go. How Bradley Beal, if he can keep up this pace, shoot more efficiently from the field. Cleveland Cavaliers.
They pretenders, but, and there's a but here, they on to something in Cleveland with that young talent.
Yeah.
I love Garland. I love what he's doing. You and I had this conversation 2 months ago. Evan Mobley is my rookie of the year.
Mine too.
He was I started the season with him, and I'm sticking with him. I think that they got the guy that they're going to build it around. Markin actually turned out to be better than what I thought he was going to be in Cleveland. So I'm really digging what they're doing. They're pretenders now. But watch out, B. Stay on their way because they're going to trade Sexton and they're going to get something for him.
I think
they're going to get something good
Sexton
for him.
is hurt right now. I think he might be done for the year. Tore
up his meniscus, but they're going to trade him and they're going to get something good for him. Yeah, they are.
Okay. I like what Ricky Rubio's been doing for him, too, that veteran presence.
Yes.
Ricky Rubio's been balling for them lately.
Yes.
Golden State Warriors, contenders or pretenders?
They look like that 14-15 team that won the NBA championship. That's what they look like to me. When I look at them, when I look at what they're doing defensively, Andrew Wiggins has gotten so much better defensively. And I don't know where this is coming from. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised with him. Jordan Poole coming off the bench, getting into it with Draymond, which, just so you guys know, we do this sort of stuff. I don't mean me in particular, but when you're on a basketball team, you're on a good basketball team, it's not kumbaya all the time. We get into it. It happens.
Yep.
But then we squash it, and then we move on. That's part of being on a team. And I love what they're doing in Golden State. And if they keep rolling like this, I had them fifth to start the season. But if they could continue doing what they're doing, Beast, they look like that 14-15 team that won it. They do.
No doubt. Led by Stephen Curry. He's balling. He
Yep.
got these boys balling. Jordan Poole is looking great. I like even Kevon Looney is getting quality minutes on this team. Everybody is looking like just one cohesive unit. And it's just Steph, a bunch of role players, and they are excelling in their roles.
Facts.
What high school, low dollars, what high school did Ayo Dosunmu come from? Was it? I think he was from Dosunmu was from Melrose Park, I think. You said he represented your high school. You and him went to the same high school. What high school was that?
Word.
If he from Melrose Park, he probably went to Proviso East, something like that. Maybe.
I think Michael Finley went there.
Proviso.
Yeah. I think Michael Finley went there. But I'm looking at
Morgan Park. That was gonna be my next guess. That's crazy. You went to Morgan Park. That's out west. Morgan Park. That's out west. That's what's up though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Warriors are definitely contenders.
Definitely
I think
contenders.
I think they definitely contenders. No doubt about that.
This Lakers team, we got inconsistencies will help with LeBron James. We got a Frank Vogel that don't know how to put the right lineup or can't seem to find out the right lineup on the court. Are they contenders or pretenders? Because a lot of people had them in the finals.
I still have them at the top of the Western Conference. Once James gets healthy, when he's healthy, plays 6 games, he's 24, 8-7. I'm almost 25, 8-7, and they roll when he's in the lineup. So once they get him back in the lineup, I think things change, and I think that they get back to their winning ways. So I still have them at the top of the Western Conference. There's no way I'm counting him and Anthony Davis out with Dwight Howard and with that group and Carmelo Anthony, who's playing like the 6th man of the year. As long as he's doing that, there's no way I'm counting them out. They're definitely contenders.
Yeah, I think it's contingent on the health of LeBron James. Can he maintain health consistently? I see him breaking down later in his career. 19th season is to be expected. We finally seeing that he's not immortal. LeBron James is a human. He's not a machine. Yep. He's a man. Abdominal strain that is going to keep him out for a couple of weeks. I hope he can get over it because I want to see LeBron go out on top. I don't want to see him go out like Kobe did because his body failed him. I want to see him retire on his own cognizance. So contingent on LeBron's health is where I'm going to have the Lakers seated in the Western Conference. If he can maintain some type of health to play at least 65 games, I don't see why they couldn't be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference and potentially represent the West in the NBA Finals. Last team, Utah Jazz, contenders or pretenders?
I absolutely believe that they're contenders. No question about that. I had them at the top of the Western Conference before the season started, and I still feel that way. They're second in the West right now, and they got a top 5 team defensively, and that's primarily because of Rudy Gobert. And what they need to do with Donovan Mitchell, as much as I love him, I would really like to see Utah get Rudy Gobert more involved in the offense, because when he's more involved in the offense, I saw what he did on that French team. And when he was on that French team, he was a rim runner, he was a pick and dive guy, and they were rolling.
No doubt.
And if they could use him more in those kind of settings, that would open up Utah's offense so much. That means that Donovan Mitchell would get better looks and he would get better shots as opposed to him shooting with 2 and 3 guys on him. So I think that they're absolutely contenders. No question in my mind.
I think they're pretenders. You know, I feel the same way about the Utah Jazz. Every single season, they got all the tools they need to be successful, but they never are. I mean, I don't know what your version of success is. Mine is NBA Finals. I mean, last year the league was wide open. I felt it was the Jazz's time for the taking to showcase who they are. They was the healthiest team in the league. The only thing they was missing is Mike Conley, and to me, he's one of the most overrated players in the league. So that was Donovan Mitchell's time to show up and say, look, I'm going to snatch this by the ears, and we're going to take this thing home. But instead, they let Phoenix take it, and they lost to whoever won in the Milwaukee
Milwaukee,
in
yes,
the Eastern
sir.
Conference. So last year, I think it was their time to prove me wrong. And Donovan Mitchell, he always going to show up and show out in the playoffs, but is it going to be enough to take his team to the next level? I don't know. So until proven otherwise, I say the Utah Jazz are pretenders.
I get a lot of questions. It's interesting you mentioned that because I get a lot of questions about James and what's wrong with LeBron. And hey guys, listen. And as much as this doesn't sound right, but James is getting old, man. He old. That's really what it is. If there's nothing else except he's getting old. He in year 19. He's got 1,000,000 miles on him. He's getting old. I had him at the top of the league this season and this season alone. I think that in terms of elite seasons where he's the best player or the second best player, I think this season is the last season for that.
Yeah, it's sad. That don't even sound right because LeBron been the best player in the world consistently for upwards of a decade, at least close to a decade since 2012. LeBron has been the best player in the world to me. So it's like
he's getting old.
19th season, you see his body starting to fail him. LeBron never had no injuries up until the only injury. Like when I think of LeBron, the name LeBron and the word injury, it's crazy that I can remember all the times he's been hurt. Like when he rolled his ankle, I believe it was against San Antonio, and he was in Miami, popped up, tied his shoe up, like rolled it something nasty.
He was like, I'm good.
Walked up, hopped up, hobbled a little bit, sat down, tightened his shoe, back in the game in the next possession. I said, he rolled his ankle similar to how Kawhi did. And Kawhi popped his ankle and was gone, missed 72 games. So I'm like, he rolled it something nasty, popped up, and was cool. Like, and the other time is the groin in 2019 with the Lakers. And then now. So it's like it's only 3 times in his career that I can even think about when it comes to the 2 words LeBron and injury. And it's like it's just sad to see him go like that. And I hope this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that LeBron James, Dub, can you please let Johnson know that I am in the middle of the podcast right now while he is trying to communicate with me. I'm literally in the middle of a podcast. He should know that. But
hey, real quick, I want to address something.
Go ahead.
OG the Beast. The question is, OG, are you working out because you're looking a little lighter? Hey, talk to him, huh? Tell him the work you've been doing. Talk to him.
Hold on.
Talk to him. Yeah, they asked my man, yo, you been working? You looking a little lighter. So talk to him, huh?
Yeah, I've actually been hitting the gym with my man Dub Fit Gaming right here. You see his name, Dub Fit Gaming. If you want to, get your workout in and get your strong on, I suggest y'all go drop him a follow because this is my personal trainer here. Me and him been grinding. We've been working hard. I've been eating better. And I have been dropping a few pounds, turning this fat into muscle and trying to live a better lifestyle, trying to make my 30s smooth going into my 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm halfway through. So just trying to make sure that, the second half of my life is cool. So I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate you noticing because I've been putting in a lot of hard work. But yeah, that's just what it is. But to get back to what we was talking about, I was thinking about it, and I honestly think we had a question like this on a previous podcast, one of the earlier podcasts. Shout out to episode, what is this? What we on episode 18 right now? So shout out to everybody that's been in this podcast since the first one. If you've seen every one of the Sports Behavior podcasts, drop a W. I want to know your name right now, and don't lie to me either, because I can go back and look. Drop a W, too. And for damn sure I will. Drop a W right now if you've been here for all 18 episodes of the Sports Behavior Podcast. Be honest, too. You said you missed one. Yes, sir. Been dialed in. Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I know these names when I see them, though. But I think we covered one of these this topic that I want to discuss again, but I want to discuss it again because I don't remember, and if we don't remember, then it is what it is. If you could go back in time, one game in NBA history, one game that you get to sit in the front row of and watch it live. I don't give a damn how old, how long ago. Give me one game that you could attend live that you would want to be there and sit front row, write down, interview, whether it be the time, anything.
Yeah, that's simple for me.
What is
I want to see Wilt drop 100. I want to see that. I want to see that. I don't care. I thought about Game 7 of the 2016 finals. I thought about Game 4 of the 84 finals. I thought about Game 1 of the 92 finals when Jordan went off. I even thought about Game 7 of the 92 East semifinals against the Knicks. That was one of my favorite games ever. But then I'm thinking about it. I want to see Wilt drop 100.
Facts.
I want to sit right there and I want to see Wilt drop 100.
I want to see, that is at the top of my list. Wilt's 100-point game, simply because people think it's a myth. It's a lot of people walking this earth that call themselves basketball fans that don't believe that shit happened.
For real.
I'm surprised at how many people actually don't believe Wilt dropped 100.
Yep.
And I could understand it because there's really no data to support it outside of the box score. There's no live footage of it. How can somebody not get live footage of this? Like, if I could sit back and watch that whole game, I would right now. I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if there's any footage of it anywhere. So that's what kind of makes people skeptical about the situation. But it's between that. I would want to go watch live and sit in the front row. 1998 Game 6, Bulls, Utah. That's one that I would want to sit back and relive. I watched it live, but I wasn't there. I would want to be sitting in that front row there. Another one would be Kobe's farewell, the 60-point game. I would have loved to be sitting front row watching Kobe hobble up and down that court for his last game. That would be something that I would love to watch. Let me think. And
it's crazy too, man. It's nuts too when you think about it. That there's people out here that really think that Wilt Chamberlain is a myth.
Yeah.
That he really didn't play in the NBA for that long. He really did not score 100 points. That did happen, yo. Just so y'all know, that did happen.
The reason why people think that is because the shit that people claimed Wilt Chamberlain did, people feel like, well, why the hell was he not a superhero? Why the hell was he not a vigilante? Why was he not saving the world? The man was 7 feet tall and ran a 4.3 40 and can bench press 600 pounds. Have you ever heard of a man like that?
Most people talk about the 100 points that he scored. Everybody leaves out Beast. He had 40 boards in that game. I know that don't even sound correct. I know that sounds nuts. I know that sounds ridiculous.
That's why people don't believe in him. Because why hasn't there been another one?
Yeah. He had 100 points and 40 boards. That don't even sound right to even say that.
Why hasn't there been another Wilt Chamberlain? Why hasn't there been another guy with this type of athleticism, with this type of God-given girth, strength, to be as slender as he was? Wilt Chamberlain wasn't built like Shaq. Wilt was slender, tall. He was defined more than he was girthy. So it's the way he's built to be 7 feet, a legit 7 feet tall, ran a 4.3 4.4 track 40. A volleyball superstar that can bench press 600 pounds. And a lot of this stuff is backed up by people that was alive around that time. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, I watched him bench 600.
In the gym with him when he was in the gym with him when he did that. I was standing right there when he did it.
That's what I'm saying. He said he watched him do the shit. So it's
standing right there.
Do you believe Arnold? What do Arnold? Why would Arnold lie? What do he have?
Right.
What's his reasoning behind saying he ain't?
This ain't second or third hand information, Beast. This ain't like Arnold heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody that was there. He was I was standing right there when Wilt threw the plates on the bench and just threw it up like it was nothing. I was standing right there when he did it.
It's just crazy. Ball Rat said, funny fat boy don't believe in Wilt. He doesn't. Me and him have had legit conversations about Wilt Chamberlain. And it's wild to know that a human being like this walked this planet And he if he walked this planet, why the hell was he not saving the world? He should have had on a mask and a cape, and he should have been saving the world with all of these talents and abilities he got. So
it's
he
just sound nuts.
ball,
that's why.
Huh?
It just sound nuts, man.
You just said he had 40 rebounds in a 100-point game.
Yes, in the NBA, by the way. And by the way, let's not leave out the fact that just about every major record in the NBA, it's on Wilt. Wilt's attached to that. So
that's why I don't
answer your question,
count Wilt. Because if we legit counted Wilt like the way we count Mike and LeBron, and Wilt would probably have a legit case to be the greatest ever. But I think we don't give him his due diligence. Half of the reason being that a lot of people don't think that shit really happened. And not only
my top 5.
Like that's what I'm saying. He's in my top 10. He's right at 10. But it's what is a 2-time champion? Imagine if they recorded blocks back then. He probably averaged 8.
That ain't the kicker for me, Beast. The kicker for me is the dude. Where do you think free throws came from? Standing behind the free throw line. Where do you think that came from? Wilt could dunk the ball from the free throw line without running. So they was like, whoa. Oh, no, you can't do that. So they put in a rule. That's why you got to stand behind the free throw line.
Yeah.
Because of Wilt.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds nuts, but that's what was going on. That's absolutely what was going on. So
it's unfathomable that a man like that walked this planet. And I
didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about what you said neither. And it does make a lot of sense. Why did Wilt not have on a cape and a mask?
Saving the world.
For real. Right.
We're talking about a 7-footer that could jump high, run fast, leap tall buildings in one single bound. He's an alien. You said it. Ball Red said it. He's an alien. This man Wilt Chamberlain ran a 4.40 at 7 feet tall and can bench 700 pounds, and he was a world-class volleyball player, a world-class NBA player. He should have been saving the world.
Yeah.
Literally.
Take that basketball unit off. Let's go make this dude a cake.
He should have been in the army or something. When these guys figure out you got better than 40-40 vision, they ready to put you in the army. Wilt should have been working for the CIA. He's too special.
It was something different.
They never made another one of these cats. So I don't know. It's just man, myth, legend, Wilt Chamberlain. But we got one last question. One last question before we get to questions from the fans. So let's make this one quick. Best player in their prime. This should be pretty self-explanatory. But best player in their prime, who you taking to start your franchise? We got Boogie Cousins, Zach Randolph, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Jermaine O'Neal, and Kevin Love. Who you taking?
Man, the one guy. This one was tough, Beast. This one was absolutely tough. But the guy that I had to go with was LaMarcus Aldridge.
Really?
The guy that I had to go with was LaMarcus Aldridge. When I think about Zach, Memphis they didn't get Zebo. No, they got the other half. Portland got the other half of him.
Mm-hmm.
They got him on the other side of that. Kevin Love, who I was thinking about right behind them, when I was thinking about right behind LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, 23-14, 4 out of 6 years in Minnesota, but he wasn't that durable. We're talking about, to his last 2 seasons, they ended with season-ending injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Griffin, same thing. He wasn't that durable. He made the All-NBA team 5 times, but he didn't do none of that without Chris Paul. None of that. Boogie Cousins, when I think about Boogie, I think about a whack job. So I can't, unfortunately, build my team. I can't trust him. When I think about LaMarcus Aldridge, I'm talking about a dude who I would have loved to see him hang in there with Dame, man, and not give up, because Dame only had him for 3 years. And I get it. It makes sense why he left to go to San Antonio. You're going to be Tim Duncan. You're going to segue into what he was doing. And they had Leonard up there. So it just made sense.
Definitely.
But I would have loved to see him, Dame, and CJ, what that would have materialized into.
Let's take it way back. I would have loved to see the Chicago Bulls not trade him for a bag of chips at the 6th wing. Yes, we drafted LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes, they did. Yes,
and traded him for Tyrus Thomas, I believe.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing?
Yeah, yes, they did.
We got the 5 guys. If I had to choose one, I honestly don't know. I might go. When I think about it, I look at these guys. We got Boogie Cousins. We got Zebo.
Yeah.
We got LA. We got Blake. We got Jermaine O'Neal. We got Kevin Love. The only guy on this team with any sort of defense is Jo. Right?
Yep.
Jo is the best defender out of this group. So that's what separates him from the rest of these guys. Now, he can score,
Yep.
but he can't score like Boogie. He can't score like LA. He can't score like Kevin Love. But if I
Nope.
had to choose one and I'm starting my franchise, barring, taking injuries out the window, just this guy, I
They're in
know
their prime.
in
They're
their
in their
prime,
prime.
I know what skill set they got. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to take Boogie Cousins. Without a shadow of a doubt. I know he's a hothead, but Boogie Cousins is 26-12. Boogie Cousins is 22-10 on 7 consecutive seasons. Nothing less than that. And he had a couple of 26-12 seasons in between that
Yep.
stretch. Like, he's just
Facts.
and he's not terrible defensively. He's not a liability, right?
Right.
Like, Kevin Love is a liability defensively. Blake Griffin is okay, but he's undersized for that position, right? To play the what now is considerably the 5. But he's natural 4. So,
Facts.
LaMarcus Aldridge, liability defensively. Zach Randolph, liability defensively. So it's like the 2 best defenders on this team is Jo and Boogie. So I think the total package collectively it's gotta be Boogie Cousins. He can shoot the long ball. He's only one of 2 guys on this list that can shoot the long ball. Kevin Love shot it at 37% for his career. Boogie Cousins to shoot it. Zebo was shooting it later on in his career.
Yep.
But I gotta take DeMarcus Cousins. I think it should be pretty consensus. But let's move on to some questions from the fans before we get the hell on up out of y'all hair, man. We've been taking
Yes,
up a lot of
sir.
y'all time, so go ahead and drop some questions. What questions? I seen one good question. Somebody asked me, Chicago versus Golden State. Is that tonight? That's tonight with no
So right now, it just started. It just
no
started. It
Vooch.
just started. So right now.
Who do I got winning? Steph Curry is my favorite player. Chicago Bulls are my team. But without Vucevic, I don't think my Bulls can beat this hot Golden State team. If we would have had Vooch, I say give me my boys. But without Vooch in that middle, we'll see how this second unit plays tonight versus this rough and tough with they Afro puff ass Golden State chemistry saturated squad. But if I'm being 100% non-biased, I'm gonna have to take Golden State tonight if I'm betting money on it.
Absolutely.
But let's see, we got Boogie.
Crusty DeMar is an all-star this season. No question about it. He is. Yes, he is.
I
DeMar
was gonna
absolutely
say
is an
this hot
all-star.
take: DeMarcus Cousins is the most underrated all time. Y'all just talked about him. In my opinion, he was the best center in the league, undoubtedly from the span of 2014 to 2018. In my opinion, 26-12. The problem with Sacramento was garbage. Couldn't get them to the playoffs. Him and AD was a great duo while it lasted. Imagine if injuries destroyed his career. Yeah. He's just a bench warmer. Thoughts. Yeah, we just gave the thoughts on that. Some NFL players that are soon to be Hall of Famers that are slowing down. Making their way out the league. Adrian Peterson is no doubt a Hall of Famer. He just got a legit shot to be the starting running back for the Tennessee Titans because of Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Frank Gore played his last season last year. He should be a surefire Hall of Famer. There's not too many guys.
Fitzgerald already gone.
Yeah,
So
Fitzgerald.
he
It's not
already
too
out.
many guys really that's on the brink of that. Von Miller.
Yeah.
We'll see what he could produce. He's a surefire Hall of Famer, slowing down a little bit. We'll see where that goes with it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
I was a big fan of Boogie, just so you know, my man.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Boogie because I'm thinking about a guy that's 25-13 at 25 years old. If somebody running around in the NBA like that today at 25 years old, you're a top 5 player in the game. You're a definite top 5 player in the game. When I think about Jermaine O'Neal, I had them winning the NBA championship that year. The Malice in the Palace happened. I thought that they were going to win. I thought they were going to win the NBA championship that year. So, and he was arguably, you can make an argument that Jermaine O'Neal was the best 4-man, even with Duncan, even with Dirk Nowitzki running around. You can make the argument that he was the best 4-man in the league. He was 24, 9 and 2 blocks, and they were arguably the best. I had them as the favorites to win the NBA championship that year.
Yeah,
so,
J.O. has always been a dog to me. Like he was just one of those players that was just so sound. He was like a baby Duncan. He did everything the right way. He did everything fundamentally. Even his shooting form was just so fundamental. Elbow tuck.
Right.
Everything about him was just so fundamental. Thoughts on Damian Harrison? Damian Harris. I had a crush on him coming out of Alabama. Him and Najee. Both of the Harris brothers was dogs when they was in college, and I thought Damian Harris was gonna have a LeGarrette Blount type season for the New England Patriots this year, but I was wrong about that. He can't stay on the field. He's got a fumbling problem. New England runs a lot of running backs over there anyway, so Damian Harris might not even play this week. But I still love me some Damian Harris, but we'll see where that goes. I don't know what to say. I don't know how much sense this makes financially, but what about a Ben Simmons for Gordon Hayward plus small pieces trade? What you think about Gordon Hayward in Philly? Would that?
They already got Gordon Hayward in Philly.
Fact.
That's Tobias Harris. Yeah, they don't need him. They already got Gordon Hayward in Philadelphia, no doubt. So they don't need him. Yeah. Yeah, they already got him. They good.
Yeah, Julio. That's one that's slowing down. That's a surefire Hall of Famer. Let's get a few more questions. Kobe better than Wilt all time, and he's a better scorer.
No, he is not.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
No, he is not.
Yeah, he definitely is. I got Kobe in my top 5.
All of that stuff y'all talking about with this dude and his bag and how talented he is, just so you know, you cannot match. When you talk about scoring, you cannot match anybody when it comes to Wilt. Wilt retired, numero uno, all-time in points per game. Wilt, for his career, is 30 and 23 for his career. So all of that bag that Kobe Bryant has or that Kevin Durant has, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 30 a game for his career.
Mm-hmm. Kobe was 25, 5 and 5.
Right, 25. That's not 30. Okay.
How many people average 30 for their careers?
Okay, one dude.
No, it's two.
And then right, it was one dude originally, and then another dude comes in from Chicago. But before he shows up, only one guy.
Don't be this.
The airman. Okay. The emblem. This dude right here.
Yeah.
This dude right here. Him.
And it ain't LeBron. Yeah. I see the Jumpman logo.
Yeah. That's him. He absolutely, no doubt, absolutely. But when you talking about Wilt, man, Wilt was a completely different animal. We talking about a dude who he had that. People talk about him not doing well in the playoffs. You know that Wilt, for his first 6 seasons in the playoffs, he was 35 and 25, and his numbers went down.
Yeah.
Okay, that don't even sound correct. 35 and 25, and that was down. I know that's I'm using that. That he shouldn't have been playing basketball. He should have had a cape on and a mask.
I'm telling you,
I'm using that.
He should have.
I'm using that.
He should have had a mask and a cape on, saving the world. Like it makes no sense. This man should not have been playing basketball. He should have been in the CIA, the military, like somewhere saving the world.
I'm using that.
Real talk.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm using that.
One last question. Get some big plays and plays good. Do you think the best center in the league for the span of 20? Yes, Boogie was, no doubt.
If you try to make an argument, you could try to make an argument for Dwight Howard, but Boogie Cousins for that 4-year stretch, he was the best 5-man.
Yeah.
I think so.
You can make a 14 to 18. Nah, that's Boogie. Dwight Howard was more 07 to 2011 because 2012 he went to the Lakers.
Well, he was on that Houston team that went to the Western Conference Championship, and he did lead the league in rebounds, and he was in Charlotte, and he did do a lot of things.
Yeah, but he wasn't better than Boogie at that span.
Right,
I think the argument for Howard would have been like more so 26 to 2011, somewhere around there.
06 to 11. I mean, you can't argue that.
Yeah,
it was
it's
Dwight
Dwight.
Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You can't argue that. No, you can't.
Let me see. Kobe better than Wilt all time. One more question. Give us one more good one. Mike 101. How dare you? Simmons. Get to that. Simmons for Clint Capella and John Collins. He ain't worth that much.
And not just John Collins straight up, and Clint Capella. You got to throw him in there. No, I don't think so.
Right.
No way.
Man, Mike 101. Hot take. You damn right it's a hot take. KD is an overrated scorer compared to all the all-time great scorers. That is a hot take if I ain't heard it.
I just dropped the pan. That's how hot that
Oh,
was.
my
I,
goodness.
I had to take my hand off the pan. That's how hot that
Like,
was.
put the glass down. Kevin Durant is one of the,
Overrated.
if not the greatest scorer of all time. Listen, and I'm a Jordan fan. Jordan had an array of moves, but it's just with Kevin Durant's 7-foot wingspan and his 7-foot height, his arm length, his ability to just shoot over whoever the hell he wants, get whatever the hell shot he wants at any point in time. There's not a man on this planet that you can put in front of Kevin Durant that's going to say, I'm going to shut him down. Not a man on this planet. And everybody got their nemesis. Nobody can stop or slow down Kevin Durant or you can only hope to contain him. In the NBA Finals when he was with Golden State, he outperformed Stephen Curry, who's also known as one of the more efficient guards in NBA history. Kevin Durant is shooting upwards of 50% from the field, averaging 30-something points a night, giving you 8 rebounds and 4 assists a night. Kevin Durant is a walking bucket.
In year 15. Year 15.
He's a walking. Go look at Kevin Durant's finals numbers. You know what Kevin Durant averaged in the playoffs? 30 for his career. 30. Don't disrespect this man, especially.
And take it a step further than that. Him playing against James, and they played against James in the 2012 finals. He went 30-10 in that final series.
He averages 30 for his career in the playoffs. 16 years? 30. He averages that. That's not a series.
Yeah, 15 win. Yeah,
that's what nuts. He averages in the playoffs for his career. 30. Like,
and we got jerked, like I talked about Carmelo Anthony. We got jerked a year and a half because don't forget he missed a year.
Yeah,
he missed the whole year because of his Achilles. So a year and a half we got jerked.
That's what I'm saying. So like, come on, man. Like, don't ever disrespect Kevin Durant like that. He's one of the greatest scorers of all time. But I appreciate everybody tuning in to the Sports Behavior Podcast, man. Y'all are loyals. I love y'all. I hope we put on the show. I hope we give y'all what y'all looking for every Tuesday and Friday night. Y'all tune into this show. If there's anything y'all feel like we could improve on or any topics y'all want us to discuss, please head over to the Sports Behavior TikTok. Drop us some comments in the comments section, Q&As in the comments section. Head over to YouTube. Drop some comments. I'm going to be looking for them. Any opinions y'all want to place on the show, what we doing, maybe guests y'all want to see on the show. We'll evaluate that type of thing. But I appreciate every single one of y'all that come in and show love. If y'all want to subscribe to the Sports Behavior Podcast, you could do that. You know, I don't know much about Twitch, but they say you could subscribe to show support to your people that you enjoy watching. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to be on Spotify pretty soon, Apple pretty soon. Anywhere you want to listen to your podcast, we're going to be on those pretty soon as well. But for right now, TikTok, Sports Behavior Podcast, YouTube channel, Sports Behavior Podcast. This episode will be up on that. And, of course, we are live on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday night, twitch.tv/Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. That's my Uncle Chill Town. Take us home.
Take it light, but take it.